Thank you very much for agreeing to take part in this interview. Can you tell me one thing that you're good at?
Brilliant. So, well, thank you, John, for having me and for the invite. So I guess the one thing that I am good at is talking to my clients about gut health and how their gut health can improve their overall health.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and when you're talking to them about gut health, what kind of health is that health?
okay, so I guess for me, I'm talking about the foundations of your health and the core of your health. So I always say to people, if you think about a tree, if a tree is ill, you wouldn't cut off the branches, you would fix the soil to improve the health of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how our gut/microbiome works, is once we fix that, we then start to fix all aspects of our health. So you may have skin issues, you may have digestive issues, you may have various other issues, but the core of that, for want of a better word, the soil, is your gut microbiome. So fixing that then is the core of your health and starts to improve everything else. So
mm-hmm. And when you're fixing the core of your health, and there is this tree that they're improving, and you're replacing the soil. No, you're not saying you're fixing the soil under the tree.
Yes.
And you're talking to them about gut health. And when you're talking to them about the tree and fixing the soil under the tree, what kind of talking is that talking?
So I think it's education in helping them understand how everything is linked.
Mm-hmm.
So I think too often we are taught that everything is disconnected. So our joint pain or headaches are disconnected from everything else. So it's helping them to understand that the soil keeps you grounded, and that it's an education process of feeding the soil and then feeding your health and moving up, inwards and outwards, if that makes sense. So improving the health from the inside of your body out.
Mm-hmm. And when you're educating them about that everything is linked, about feeding the soil and keeping them grounded, what kind of feeding the soil is that?
So it's about nutrients. If you think of the soil, if the soil's depleted, then the soil needs nutrients to get healthier and get better, to improve everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you're talking about gut health, you're actually talking about the soil under the tree, and that this soil is the food, is the nutrient that then feeds into the tree, and that tree is connected with everything, if you like. That's the whole process within that. And you're educating people there about gut health. And when you're doing that at your best, when you're with a client and you're educating them about the soil and the tree, what's that like for you when you're at your best?
For me, it's a sense of connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess just excitement about sharing things and helping people to educate and how they can, I guess, take control of their own health and not rely necessarily on outside influences, that they can take control. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And a sense of connection and excitement. What kind of connection is that connection?
I guess it's connecting with the client and building that relationship and helping them with their education and their knowledge, and for me, sharing something that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm. So there's both the connection with the client and sharing something that you're good at doing, and there's an excitement and them taking it and learning how to do it themselves. And when you're sharing that with the client, where is that connection?
How do you mean, where in the body is the connection, or
is it in you? Is it in them? Is it between you? Where? How do
between?
It's
I'd say
between you.
between us. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you know when the connection is there?
From the client's understanding, so change in body language, kind of, a lot of, I think clients when they come in initially are, for me, generally, they're quite frustrated. They're kind of at the end of their rope. I generally see people who have kind of explored all avenues and I'm almost their last resort. So they kind of frustrated. They feel like they've tried everything and that nothing's working for them. So when we have that connection, you just see that relaxation and that, I guess, connection, that someone understands where they are and someone who can help them achieve what they're looking to achieve and change with their health.
Okay, so you can see the connection in the body language, that they begin to relax and that somebody understands them, and that connection is between you and them.
Yeah.
So what happens in you when that connection is there? How do you know, or do you know anything in you when the connection is there, or is it just over in the client you observe it?
I think it's probably more of an intuitive process, knowing that the connection is there, but also seeing the body language and kind of the relaxation and the change in someone when you, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe when someone's eyes, you can see in their eyes that they become more open and ready and willing to take on information. So that's where I get that the connection has happened, and they start asking questions, and that the questions they're asking are open questions in how they move forward, rather than the closed questions of or not closed questions, just statements of what is wrong with them, that there's nothing they can do about it, and they start to explore that there are avenues open to them.
So those open questions are also a sign that they're beginning to see a way forward, that these avenues are open for them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And the eyes become open and willing.
Yes.
Okay. And how do you know the eyes become open and willing? What do you see or observe?
That's a really good question, because I think it's just one of those things that it seems quite hard to define, but I think you can tell when someone is, kind of their body language is very closed, their shoulders are slumped, kind of their head slightly down. And when they become more open, their eyes kind of light up and they sit up, and you just see that change and a smile starting to form. And I think your eyes become more open.
Okay. And a smile starts to form as well then. So when this connection is there are many things that you're observing in the client that tells you that the connection is there, because you're talking about the smile, the body language changes, the shoulders come backwards, they begin to relax, their eyes are more open and did you say shining at one point?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay, because you also said they were willing and shining, and they begin to understand the process, and their questions change. So the way that the words that they use change as well, to become more open and more. You said that they had avenues forward, so they're beginning to be able to see a way into a future that's different from the closed problems they had when they came.
Yeah, I think that I think the definition, well, not the definition as such, but the language is, I am ill, instead of I have an illness and I would like to move forward. So instead of defining as I am and that I am sick, it's then I have digestive problems, I can move forward. What would you recommend? So it's those changes that come out.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a change of where they stand in terms of their problem. It's no longer them, but something they need to do something about.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And I think knowing that ability, that then they have the option to do something about it, that there are options, there are avenues for them to follow.
Okay. So with all of that you observe and the changes that take place with the client, that connection is like what?
I guess I would liken it to probably, I guess, contentment, if that makes sense, and just that I'm doing what I love doing, and I'm doing what I love the most is talking about that health and helping people with that. So it's just a contentment in that I'm kind of doing what I love to do and helping clients resolve their issues.
Okay, so when that connection is there, is that where you start to begin to notice this contentment that takes place within you, or is the contentment there before the connection takes place?
I guess they kind of intrinsically linked, that when the connection starts to take place, the contentment comes in probably slightly after, but very quickly after.
Yeah. Okay. So the contentment comes slightly after. And that contentment, where is that contentment?
I guess it would be kind of stomach, chest area, if that makes. Yeah.
And that stomach, chest area is in you, I'm presuming now.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So when you
hopefully in my clients as well, particularly if it's digestive issues.
So when you notice that contentment in your stomach and chest area, what's the first thing that you notice that when it's there?
I guess in a way a sense of relief, at the same time that I'm delivering my message in a way that is open and that someone can understand. Because, you know, as we all know, if you have a conversation with someone and they don't kind of get what you're saying, particularly if it's something that you're passionate about and you're not getting your words across correctly, it can be quite frustrating. So I guess there is kind of that relief, a sense of relief in that I've communicated the message in the right way as well, to get them to open and understand, you know, that their journey can go forward in a positive way.
Okay. And is that relief the same relief as the contentment that you feel in your stomach and chest area after you've communicated in the right way to them?
Slightly different.
Okay. And is it in the same place, or is it in a different, do you notice it in a different part of yourself?
I guess relief more in my head. Yeah.
Okay.
And that I think knowing I'm using kind of the right language, and I guess that comes from kind of, you know, your brain part of your, or your mind, mind part of your body, not anywhere else. So yeah.
Okay. So you can feel the relief in your head, and you can feel the contentment in your stomach and your chest area, that you're doing something well and you're communicating well, and the client is moving from the I am ill to I have a digestive problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said a sense of connection, sharing, and excitement with the client. What kind of excitement is that excitement?
Just that I am, I guess, in a way, living my purpose in helping people.
And you're living your purpose in helping people.
Yeah.
What kind of people are those people that you are helping?
So as I said, generally people who are referred to me by word of mouth because of clients I've helped in the past. And generally they're people who I think have, as I say, I'm kind of their last resort. They've been, you know, to various health professionals. They've been told that there's nothing they can do. You know, often I think particularly with IBS symptoms, sometimes they're told it's all in their head. So, you know, it's people who are, I guess, they are looking to make a change, and they're still open to something, although they're not aware of what that something is necessarily. Otherwise, they wouldn't come looking for me if they thought that there was no other solution.
Okay. So the people that you meet are they're there as a last resort. They're coming to you as
Yeah,
a last resort. They've tried an awful lot of things beforehand, and your purpose is to help those people, and that's where the excitement comes from.
yeah.
And when the excitement is there, where is the excitement?
I guess again would be kind of chest, throat area
Okay, so that's a bit
for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a little bit higher than the contentment. The
yeah,
excitement is
yeah.
up
So
here, and
yeah, so yeah, more of a guess expression. So it's coming more from the throat area than
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you're making a connection with people at your best, and you can see in them that the connection is there and their body language changes, when is the excitement there? Is it there before? Is it there at the same time? Is it afterwards? When is that excitement present?
I think probably afterwards, once the connection has been made, and then when the client starts asking those questions that I know they have the information and they're ready to move forward. And that's, I guess, when the excitement comes in, is that, yes, I've got my message across. They understand that, there are options and that there's something they can do to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And does that come after the relief and the contentment, or do they all come at the same time? How?
Good question. Probably relief and excitement at the same time, slightly after contentment.
Yeah.
Connection. Yeah.
Okay.
Shall we say milliseconds?
And when that relief and excitement is there, the connection that's been built, and you can see it in the client, and they're changing the way they're talking and sitting, and their eyes are shining. How does the client know that relief and excitement is there?
I think from their questions and then their openness to move forward.
Mm-hmm. So when you're there at your best, and they ask these open questions and asking about moving forward, how can you then tell that they can notice this excitement in you? Does it stay within yourself? Is it something that comes over to them through the connection that you build with
Probably
them,
that comes over to them because I get excited about what I can do and how I can help them. So so they see that excitement, and that they can be excited about what they can do and the changes that they can make as well.
Yeah. So when the excitement is in you, it also starts to be over in them. It's something,
Yes.
again, that takes place. And is it something that happens at the same time that this excitement starts, or are you the person that notices the excitement first, if you like, and gives it to the other person?
Yeah, I guess I notice it first, and then notice it moving across to the client that I'm sitting with on their, when they become, start to become open as well and excited about the changes that they can make, and they start asking questions about how they can move forward and what my recommendations are and how they can work with me. That's where the excitement comes in, that they've understood that they can make those changes. So I guess it's with me first and then leads on to them.
Mm-hmm. And when that excitement is in them, how do you notice the difference between the connection that takes place? You mentioned the open questions, but is there anything else that you notice in the client when they are also excited?
I guess probably from their readiness to, and what their next steps are, and rather it just being a kind of consultation in that time, it's what their next steps are and how they go forward.
Mm-hmm. So these next steps, what kind of next steps are they?
So generally I would then we have I have a specific program that they would get onto. So it would either be a 1 month or a 3 month program which would include looking at the lifestyle changes that they can make, dietary changes they can make, introducing specific supplements that would help improve their overall health, improve their gut health. So those would be our next steps in just exploring lifestyle changes. They can make what I call kind of micro habits, because I think people generally, some people like to make big changes straight away and just go, okay, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Some people take a more gentler approach of just making small changes every day. So it would then depend on specifically what they need and what those next steps would be. If someone wanted to make changes right away, it would kind of be a month program. They would go away, they'd make all of those changes right away, implement the supplements into their program to kind of heal and restore their gut, and as we say, restoring the soil, as it were. Some people just need, you know, smaller changes to start adding some exercise in, and breathing exercises and some more water and those kind of things into their routine.
Okay, so if I've understood this right, and that's always the important the important point. When you're good at talking about gut health with people, you're good at talking about the tree and the soil that the tree is in, and how that soil needs to be grounded and needs to get the right nutrients.
Yeah.
When you're working at your best with that person, you develop a sense of connection with them. And you can tell that connection's there because of the way the body changes, the way the eyes change, they relax, and they also begin to change. Not change, but they recognize that somebody understands them.
Yeah.
And then there's a relief that you begin to feel in your head, and this contentment in the stomach and chest, and the excitement that you begin to notice at the top of the chest and your throat. And that feeds over into them, and they also begin to ask different questions at that point. They're more open, and they begin to become more aware of what they can do rather than defining themselves as this problem. And you can work together to find the next steps that are going to be there. So when all of that works, what's that like for you when everything works?
I guess it just is amazing. That's my best word to describe it.
Mm-hmm. And when it's amazing, where is that amazing?
Oh, everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And is it everywhere?
That's kind of like kind of like that light, you know, like all around you and inside of you.
Okay. So it's like a light that's all around you and inside of you.
Yeah.
What color has that light?
Oh, generally kind of like a sparkly, purpley white light.
Okay, so it's a sparkly, purpley white light that's inside you and all around you.
Yeah.
And what kind of sparkly is that sparkly?
I always think of sun shining on the snow.
Okay, so it's like the sun shining on the snow, sparkling in a purple light.
Yeah.
And what kind of purple is that? Is it just purple? Is it different shades of purple?
No, kind of like a lightish, I guess, lilac, lavender color.
Okay. So it's sparkly like the sun on the snow, and it's a lilac lavender color, and it's a light that's within you and around you.
Yeah.
And how far does this light that's around you spread out?
Oh, good question. Never really noticed, but I'd probably say as far as I can see.
As far as you can see, okay.
Yeah.
As far as you can see. This sparkly lilac lavender colored light that's within you and around you. And when that light is there and within you and around you, is there anything else about that sparkly lavender and lilac colored light?
No, that's
That's
just
very
contains,
clever.
I guess, the connection and the connection and contentment, if I can get my words out,
Yeah.
kind of contained in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when that light is beginning to shine, what's the first thing that you notice, or the first sign that that sparkly lavender colored light is there within you and around you? What's the first thing that you notice?
I guess probably change in breathing, in that a slower breathing and just a relaxation in my body.
Okay. So there's a slower breathing and a relaxation in your body.
Yeah.
Is it instantly everywhere, or does it start somewhere?
Instantly everywhere.
Instantly everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
So from nothing to everything, just
Yeah.
like that. Fantastic. Okay. And when it's there, what difference does it make for you?
I think it's just the a knowing, I guess, that I'm doing what I should be doing.
Mm-hmm. And that doing what you should be doing is that excitement about the purpose in helping people.
Yeah. And I
Coming
think
to
it's just,
reflect.
helping people understand, I guess, that they're not stuck with their problems, that they can move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And release them and let them go and make the changes that they need to make.
Yeah. Okay. Knowing that I am doing what I should be doing through a purple light that shines. I love these metaphors. They're fantastic. So when that sparkling purple, lavender and lilac colored light that's there, sparkling like the sun on the snow, and it means that you know that you're doing what you should be doing. Is there anything else about that?
Joy.
Joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of joy is that joy?
Just again, that knowing that I've made a connection and that I can help someone and guide them to make changes to their positive changes to their life.
Okay.
Just having that impact, I guess.
Yeah. So you're good at creating a connection with people that allows you to educate them about their soil and how it affects the tree. And when that works well and at your best, they move from being their illness to having opportunities to change, to grow, and to learn. And when you're doing that, and that contentment and excitement is there, and the relief in the brain has passed, then there's a sense of joy that is present within you, that is reflected in this lilac and lavender colored light, sparkling like the sun on the snow, that fills you as far as you can see and within you in your entirety. And with that joy and sparkling light, would that be an okay place to stop?
Yes, be a perfect place.
A perfect place. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say thanks for your time and this wonderful sparkling light within you. And I'd wish you all the best for the rest of the day, and I'll talk to you at some point soon.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you, John. It was a lovely experience, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Cool. It's a pleasure.